Another fireside chat. Huh?
No, it just started. I think it may have gotten cut off.
Oh, okay. I'll start again. Hi,
Okay.
everybody. Welcome to another fireside chat. Is it going now?
Yes.
Oh, wait. Now it says live. Hi, everybody.
Hi. Sorry if you hear that like
Welcome.
3 times.
Mercury retrograde. Am I right?
Yep.
We're having some technical difficulties, but welcome to another fireside chat with the Witch's Wield, or maybe some other name that is yet to be determined. We don't know, but you know, it's cool. I am Mairi, and I'm here with Senna, or here, you know, virtually, like she's actually miles away. But yes, we are here today to talk about kind of our own hometown hauntings, the things we experienced together when we were younger, and a little bit about the history of some of the places we used to trespass on.
That's pretty
so that'll be fun, right? And we each got a black candle lit for protection, you know, because ghosts and things. And mine's like down to a nub, so it may burn out, or a cat may knock it over. I don't know. But hopefully it'll stay lit.
Black candle, yeah. Black cat.
It goes, you know, it's a theme. So, yes. Welcome. Hello, hello.
Hello. Yes, hello. My altar is behind me, so it's going to be a little awkward, but we're going to make it work. So we wanted
I think it's super appropriate that we be like facing your altar, you know?
Yeah. You're welcome. Welcome to the world. So we wanted to start off, since we talk about, you know, other realms in the spirit world. You can never have too much protection. So we have our black candles lit, often anointed with clove. And then we are going to sage, and then of course draw our circles around us with our selenite. So sage with us, if you will, and join us for this chat. So
do this on camera?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like a demonstration. For those of you who are new to smudging.
Yeah. You can light. Or
mine is like really charred, so it takes forever to get going.
I like to just stick mine in my candle sometimes. Because that will light it.
That's what I typically do, but since my candle's behind me, I figured, you know.
It's all right.
What do you think, Binks? Thackeray. He does not like the sage.
Oh.
Thou mangy feline.
Maybe sweetgrass or cedar.
Maybe. Although I'm not going to lie, it's kind of helpful at keeping him. So.
That's funny.
Because it's one of his favorite places, he's decided. So.
And I'm going to take my soda.
Which way?
And I am ready when you are. It's weird facing this way.
Call the north. Okay, I'm good.
Awesome. Okay.
Yes.
I printed off like a whole bunch of stuff.
I'm very excited that you did, because this is going to be a learning experience for me too. I'm sure.
Yeah. I don't know. Where should we start? Do you want to start with some background information? Do that as we go?
I think that we should start with our experiences, because the background information is stuff I don't know yet, and I feel like I'm going to be really excited to hear it.
Okay.
Selfishly.
So since I have like pages and pages of like information, I'll let you tell our story, especially because you have some experience that I wasn't there for all of them either. So there you go. The floor is yours.
All right. Sure thing. So back in our younger days, Senna and I used to, as we touched on last time, spend a lot of time trespassing on various properties. Most of the time, these were, you know, various burial grounds, you know, the kind of typical thing. Although it did occasionally include abandoned houses and things too, but that's another story for another time. Today
All
we're
for the sake of
focusing
art.
on all for like photography and just like, although I personally feel like in retrospect, hey, don't climb the curtains. Come here.
What?
My cat, sorry, he was climbing the curtains.
You're right. That's a good point.
Yeah, I thought so. So anyway, I think that in retrospect, looking back, you and I were probably also just like drawn to certain places, and we didn't really. We're just kind of like, it's weird, let's go. But
yeah, exactly. It's really weird that we're where we are now when we were just like, it was just a fad for us. But we could have been doing worse things, okay?
Oh, we totally could have. We totally could have. Like lots of other kids in our class, you know, doing the typical kid stuff of like, you know, I sound like such an old fart. I'm like the drinking and the smoking. And,
yeah.
you know. Anyway, as I like.
We don't know because we were too busy chasing ghosts.
And one of our favorite places was this weird little abandoned cemetery, literally in the middle of the woods, on top of a hill. Called Harmonia Cemetery. And when we first found it, we didn't know what it was. And I don't remember, Senna, if you were there the first time I went and like discovered it. Were you there with me that night?
I want to say yes. We went so many times.
It's hard to say.
I want to say yes because, okay, so my mom, I don't remember if this was you I told, but like my mom used to like, I don't know if my grandpa used to work at those factories. And maybe I had mentioned that. I don't remember if that was you or not, but
okay, maybe it was because, like, I mean, it was so long ago now. God.
Yeah, I was like always drawn
to them 15 years ago.
Yeah, like that whole area, like my family, my mom's side of the family, my dad, my grandpa used to work over like in those factories, and then that tower over there. This is in a place called Fort Custer, and
right
there were battles and things, which is why it's called Battle Creek. So, but like my dad's side of the family, that big tower where that was part of like the army base, like my like great uncle or great uncle was the guy that used to sit on that perch and was the guy that told them that like the enemy was coming, and no one believed him. And so like they were surprised when they shouldn't have been. But like I was always drawn to that area because I was like, my family has a lot of history here. So I don't remember if that played a part in that or not, but I feel like it could have. I don't know.
I feel like it was because I think I remember how we ended up there now, and I think you were with me. We went to the Fort Custer National Cemetery to look at the stars. Remember? Because we would go there when it was dark out, like, because you could see the stars really well because there was no light. Like that's how that's the kind of shit we would do. We would be like, let's drive out to Augusta to that big cemetery in the middle of the night and go stargazing. Like in retrospect, it probably wasn't the safest thing to do, but you know,
all of our rebellion was kind of like sugar coated with like innocence and all of that.
Yeah, and like wonder. We were just like really inquisitive.
Curiosity.
Like, let's go do this thing that's vaguely sciencey, you know?
Right. Because I'm curious about what's in the unknown.
Right, exactly. That was like us. It was like, let's take a blanket and go look at stars. But,
that reminds me of another. I'll say this later. No, it reminds me of something else that happened when we were out there. I think you were with me. I want to say you were, but we'll talk about that later. Okay, I'm sorry. Continue. It's funny because when I was researching stuff, I kind of noticed that like there aren't a lot of recordings of hauntings in Battle Creek. However, we had a lot of experiences of hauntings in Battle Creek.
Yeah, we really did.
Yeah.
And like not just there either. Like it's really bizarre, but anyway, where was I? Oh, so I believe how we first happened upon this place was we were out looking at the stars at this other cemetery. It's a big military cemetery, so it's very clean and, you know, think like a smaller version of Arlington, basically. And we were there looking at the stars, and we ended up deciding to like drive around. And I think Senna pointed out the factories that are like in this kind of military compound. And so we decided to drive back in that little area and like, you know, look at the buildings and stuff. And we noticed this weird little pathway, like a metal kind of gate across it, but you could easily like go under it.
Oh, I had a picture, but it didn't print off. But hold on, I'll pull it up. I have visuals.
Okay.
I have several pictures.
Oh, cool. I'm glad that you do, because what's so sad is I used to be like a really big photography nerd, and I thought I was really cool when I was in high school. And I would use like a manual SLR camera, and I would take pictures of like all these places where we would explore, and then I would like develop my own film because I was like,
Yeah.
you know, super cool.
I have a picture of the gate. I'm gonna.
Okay, cool.
I'm gonna pull it up here. Sorry. No. Okay. Now I remember. Like
No,
we went to that cemetery because like my dad's cousin's dad died and they buried him there, and I hadn't known it was there.
At Harmonia?
No. At the first cemetery.
Oh,
we went
at Fort Custer. I was like, I don't remember that.
Yeah. And so he was buried there, and like I didn't know it was there until we went to like. Did we go to the funeral, or we just went and laid flowers or something? And so like, yeah, I was like, what a great place to like, go out into the wild. Okay.
Yeah.
Here's the picture of the gates. And like, they're spooky gates, y'all. Like, what?
Yeah. And
like,
there's like no trespassing signs.
Yeah. Actually, yeah,
it was super.
It says Harmonia Cemetery, the sign there too.
Oh, yeah. But it's hard to see from the road. So, like, seeing that little sign, you're like, what is that? Oh, there's a gate. It's somewhere I shouldn't go. Let's go investigate.
Yes.
And so we decided to, try to look into it further. And we get out of the car and we walk up to this, that creepy little gate. And I'm so sad. Like, I used to have so many pictures from my nerdy photography, like black and white, manually developed pictures. Like, I had a whole scrapbook of them, just of Harmonia. And I couldn't find it. And I'm almost certain that the last house I lived in with Jeff, our basement flooded one time. And I'm pretty sure they were ruined.
No.
Yeah,
that
I'm
sucks.
pretty sure I know. So hopefully I'll be able, because I'm a packer. I have totes of memorabilia, from my youth. So it's possible that I'll find like a few stragglers, but the book that I had of this place is gone, which is so sad. But anyway, so we go to investigate this weird gate, see that there's a sign that says like Harmonia Cemetery. And we're like, why would they prohibit people from going to a cemetery at all? I mean, they're typically like after dusk or whatever, and they're supposed to be closed overnight. And there's usually like a sign posted, like no admittance between hours, this and this. But this was just straight up like gated, don't go in here. And I mean, that's just asking for people to go in there, So
right? They should know better.
They're just like, yeah. So we scale the gate, we jump over it, and we're going up this path, and it's leading up this hill into the woods, which is, really weird. That there would be a cemetery in the woods on top of this hill, not by an easily accessible road. It was a privately owned road, owned by these factories that were in that area. So it just seemed like a very strange location, but we're into it. We're going up there, and I don't remember if the first time we went there we found the pool or not. I feel like that was a different time when we went.
No, that was not the first time. Yeah, because it was further into the forest, and I don't feel like we discovered the leftovers from whatever was there the first time.
Okay. Right. Well, and
it's hard. This was over. This was what? 13 years ago. This was a long time when this happened. So recollecting things, we'll see how this goes.
And yeah, and we went there so many times that I feel like a bunch of the times we were there are going to bleed together.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. So the sequence of events might not be spot on, but in general, these things that we're talking about actually happened and whatever. And as I recall it, I think that first night, it was we had gone to see a movie before this, I thought too. And it was early spring. So there was still snow on the ground, but it was mostly melted, but there were pockets of snow. And I know that I, being the super smart, 16-year-old that I was wearing flip-flops, despite the fact that it was March in Michigan and there were still pockets of snow on the ground. But I'm wearing flip-flops while we're trudging through the partially snowy ground in the woods uphill, And
both ways.
We get to the top of this hill. Well, and it took a while to get to the top of the hill because it was just woods, and obviously adrenaline's pumping. We're how far is it in here? And finally we come across it, like, I don't know if there's actually a cemetery up here. We see like this fence, and it was so creepy because it was like, the light was really dim, and because the sun was going down and it was cold. Oh, do you have more visuals?
I have lots of visuals. This is like the outside of the fence. And like, oh, and here is the inside of the fence.
Oh, there you go. And I mean, so you can see from the pictures, I think you have to talk again to like make the camera come up on you.
Observe. Hold on, let me make it bigger. There we go. Okay, so you can see.
Tiny.
So, yeah, super tiny. I don't know how much angle this is. I think someone like must have gone inside the cemetery or something. But
yeah.
Sorry, I'll let you get to that part.
No, you're fine. You can interject at any time. You were there too.
I'll say, so the fence in this one, if you can see it, it's kind of dark. Sorry, the lighting's really weird in here. So the fence, like the first time we went, looked like this. I'll just say that.
Yeah.
But it didn't always look like that.
Oh my God, I know what you're talking about now, and I had completely forgotten about that. Completely forgotten about it. Anyway, that's okay. I'll let you tell that later. That's fun. Okay.
I will, yeah.
So anyway.
I'm excited.
This cemetery, and it's tiny, and all of the graves are really old. They're all from like, are you there?
I'm here. Are you here?
Okay. Yeah, I'm here. All right. Did you hear any of that?
Yes, I did. It just was, I didn't see it, but I heard it.
Okay, cool.
I think it's my internet. It's been raining all day. Yeah, it's been raining all day. Oh. I live in like a really old building, and our connection's not great.
Yeah, that we're both kind of screwed there. Like my house is from like the 1870s. You live in like a really old building. We're like,
yeah,
we're both drawn to old places.
We are.
We are. So anyway, these, like, the graves that were there were very old. I mean, some of the headstones were so weathered and eroded that you couldn't even see what they said. They were like, it was so old. And I remember just being struck with that, like how old it was and who were these few people that were there, because it clearly like wasn't a big community of people that were burying their dead.
And the fact that it's it was like boarded off, like it was gated off, like people weren't allowed to go there.
Yeah, like, that was why? So weird. Like, yeah, because like I have never ever had another experience where I encountered another graveyard that was just like barred off. Like you couldn't visit it, you couldn't like pay respects to the dead. So that is very strange to me. And obviously, if anyone is watching this, if you've had an experience like that, let us know. I'm genuinely curious about that.
And then we'll probably go there.
Yeah, we probably will. That's their story, and then we'll
Yeah. Go ahead. And then I'll have to look up the records and everything in the archives.
So yeah, it was very strange, and like we're just kind of like around, like standing there, and we were in a group of a few people that night. I don't remember who all was there, but like
I think Jeff was there.
Was he?
Maybe, I can't remember, because we went so many times and we went with so many people.
It's hard to say. Like I know
Eric,
that we did go with
wasn't
Jeff.
Eric there?
He might.
Because it was usually at least usually me and Eric. Yeah, I don't know. All I know, we were there.
Like there was a night. Yeah, that's the only thing that matters. There was a small group of people, and we were there, and we get to the top of this hill, and like crazy screech, like. And I mean, I live in the country. I hear coyotes yowling all the time. I hear like screech owls and like all those kinds of sounds. This was not anything like that. Like it was nothing that I have heard. I don't know what it was. To this day, I look back on that moment and I'm like, what the hell was that sound?
Yeah.
Because it was so weird, and it was so grating and sharp and loud, and like I just remember we all took off running, because I mean we're already in a place.
Well, there was the light. Remember the light? The red light?
I was looking away from it, and I only know about the light because of like you telling me about it and whoever else it was who was with us telling me about it. But I was so afraid that I'm like, nope, fuck it. And I just like started running, and I'm in flip-flops. So I wasn't getting very far, like trudging through the woods in the snow in flip-flops. But I was like, I gotta go. So I didn't see the light. So like, why don't you tell us about
so the light. Now, I didn't know what this was until like we went back to your house. I don't know if I did this night or if I did it like the next time I went to your house, but I don't know why I couldn't do it. I had internet at my home. I don't know why I didn't look it up. So we heard the screech, and then I looked over, and like they were like, okay, so you're at the top of this hill. There's the road. The road ends, and then there's just trees, and you have
that's true. You had to keep going.
Yeah, and then like you have the cemetery and the gates in front of you, and behind you there's more trees, but there's a big building that is like in use today. It's like a newer building, and like but in those trees that were like kind of in the distance in the woods, like I saw this like red light just floating, and like I thought it could have been anything. Like it could have been like somebody just trying to freak us out, whatever, except that sound was like not normal. But the light was like, it was just like this red light just like floating there between the trees, and it didn't look like it was that far away, and like I didn't see anybody standing there. Like there wasn't a person, there was no shade, because there was a little bit of light because there were like the lights from the building behind us, but like there was nothing there. There was just this light in the trees just floating there. Yeah, it was
That's so freaky.
Yeah.
See, like, it's so freaky, but I wish I would have looked behind me because
I saw that twice. I saw that twice when we went up there. Because we went another time, and we went up there another time, and I saw it. I swear the only time I went, you were with me, but I know I saw it twice.
I mean, I was obsessed with that place. So, I mean, I feel like you and I went there pretty frequently, and I like went there with other people too. And it was like, I remember somebody, and I don't remember who, was like mad at me that I had gone there with you and not them, and like made me take. It might have been Anna.
Oh, probably.
But they were like, I probably shouldn't say names. Anyway,
no, who cares? No one knows.
That's true. No one's watching this anyway. Yeah, that's so crazy that you saw it twice. Like I never saw the red light, and I mean. Oh, I definitely heard the screech, and you weren't the only one to see a red light. So like, I definitely don't think it was just in your head, or that you were like, you know what I mean?
thought that Jeff saw it too. And it was like in the same place. Like I thought Jeff was the other person that saw it.
I remember one time, and it's actually, I think we were there with George.
Oh, we were there. I know we were there with him at least once.
Yeah, and I think, like, I remember him talking about the red light and seeing it.
It was him.
I'd be, like, curious to know, because, like, he and I don't really talk at all. But I'd be interested in, like, asking him just, like, through Facebook or something, like, hey, do you remember this? Like, what was your experience? What was the red light about? What do you remember about the red light? He'd probably be like, what the hell are you talking about? I haven't talked to you in like 6 years.
Right.
Wow, longer than that. I'm old. Anyway.
That's funny because I went to college with him. He actually, his roommate is one of my good friends.
Cool.
Yeah. Out in California. Anyway, moving on.
Yeah. So, I don't remember if I was like ahead of you guys because I took off running before you guys did because I'm a
you were definitely in front. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I'm done. Like, I am not playing around. And I mean, you have to remember too that we were like, again, we were from very religious backgrounds. And so it's like anything dark was perceived as like demonic or satanic or whatever. And
it can attach to you and it can follow you home and all that fun stuff.
It can possess you and like, and I grew up terrified of The Exorcist. I would have like nightmares about Linda Blair and her face all twisted up. So I was like, fuck, like there's a demon in the woods that's gonna follow me home. And so I'm just like, peace, you know. But like, so we're like sprinting. It didn't take long before people lapped me and got ahead because I'm slow anyway.
Well, remember the air totally changed around us. Like
it did.
It was completely dead, and then it was like all of a sudden there was this wind. And it felt like the temperature was like cold, but like it dropped.
It dropped, and like when she says wind, I don't just mean like it was really still and there was a breeze and that was unusual because it had been still. It was like a gale, like out of nowhere. Like out of no, there was no sound before the screech happened. There were no sounds in the woods. Like it was eerily quiet. And I was thinking, because this is like, it's off the beaten path, but it's still close enough to a busy-ish road that you'd be able to hear it. Like you could not hear anything. Like it seemed deadened in there, like muted, almost like when you stand in a room that's soundproofed, like with foam on the walls and stuff, like a recording studio. It wasn't quite that intense, but it was really freaking quiet. And then all of a sudden there was that crazy screech, and there was just like this huge, like, and it wasn't just like one gust of wind. It was like all of a sudden we were like in the middle of a hurricane.
Yeah.
And like, so that's weird, right? And then there was this red light thing, which I didn't see, but like, so those three things together, like that's weird. Like if it had been any one of those things, I think, you know, we're pretty skeptically people by nature and fairly scientifically inclined. If it had been like one of those things, I think we would have been like, we can probably explain it away. But like all three, like that's bizarre. And
it was
drove. I remember that because I remember running to my car.
Yeah.
My like shitty little 1998.
There were also the footsteps, like the like I don't know, maybe I remember this differently, but like the footsteps, you could hear footsteps coming at us. Do you remember that? Maybe not because you didn't wait long enough, but like after like the red light, like there were footsteps, but there was nobody there.
Wow, that's so crazy. Yeah, like I was wimpy enough and I took off fast enough that I think that must have been something that you experienced with the red light, whereas I was already like on my way down the hill.
See, I was like, at first I was just kind of like frozen in fear for a second because I'm like trying to process what's going on, and I'm like, yeah, that's weird. There's nothing there. This is strange. Like, okay, this isn't normal. I should probably get out of here. And she's gone, and I don't want to leave her alone. And like it just like a lot of things happened at once. It was like, no, I totally thought you heard that too. Yeah, there were definitely like footsteps. It didn't even sound like one set of footsteps. Like it sounded like multiple sets of footsteps.
Weird.
And that's when I started running because it was like, what the hell is going on? And like, who's coming after me? Like, what's like, I felt like I was being chased. So like, I felt like I had to go. So yeah. And I don't know whoever else was. I swear Jeff was there. Maybe I'm thinking George. I don't know, but some dude was there.
He might have been. I know that we went there with Jeff, but I don't think that he was there when this whole huge thing happened.
That's right. I think he was. He was there when we discovered the pool, wasn't he?
I think so.
Or maybe we were talking about Jeff. I don't know. Jeff was her crush in high school. He was there with us all the time.
Before I knew I was gay, and it wasn't another life. And then I married him, and then I was like, hey, I'm a lesbian, and we're still best friends. It's a whole thing. But like,
which is funny because the exact same thing happened to my roommate in college. Like, I don't know what it is, and I'm like this bystander, like, okay. Cool, guys. Good for you.
Yeah. You have ended up in that position a lot in your life. Like, one of my great friends is either gay or is married to someone who's gay, or,
this is totally a different topic that we can cover another time, but most of my, like, closest friends have turned out gay, and I've had moments in my life where I'm like, why aren't I gay? Like, should I be?
That's so funny.
But I'm
Why
not.
am I the different one?
Yeah, like, yeah, I don't fit in.
Yeah.
That reminds me of this episode of Friends where Phoebe's like married to this ice skater and like he's supposed to be gay. Yeah, he's supposed to be gay, and then she was like in love with him though, and then she finds out like he wants a divorce because he's actually straight, and then he said all like the same things that like people, you know, like I just felt like I had to fit in, and like I didn't want people to judge me. that's like me. I want to fit in. I'm straight.
Darn it.
Man. Anyway, Harmonia. So anyway, yeah, I heard footsteps and I saw a red light, and I remember that like it was yesterday because I mean, that was seriously one of the most like significant paranormal experiences I've had in my life, and I've had quite a few, and some of them were with you. But like that's when I started running. Like when I saw the light, at first I was just kind of like frozen, and then it was like I heard the footsteps, and then I was like, I need to get out. Like, well, I need to go. Bye, peace out, see you never. Except then we went back like a week later, but.
Yeah, we would like, I mean, you would think after having an experience like that, we would be like, fuck no, I'm never going back there. And like, it was like days later when we're like, we should go back. Like, we should like, I think we had decided to go back during the daytime so that we could like further explore the surroundings and like see what was going on there. And we ended up going back, I think it was a Saturday. And it was like the middle of the day, and we were like just walking in the, so like we climbed the hill to the cemetery, and nothing super out of the ordinary happened that time, but we decided to kind of like explore the woods around it. And so we're walking in the woods, like kind of down the hill, but in the trees. And we come upon this pool, and it's like, and I'm so sad again that my pictures were lost, because like I had pictures of the pool and like us at the pool, and like, so
oh man.
It was, I know it's so sad, but like, so I guess it was like a reflection pool, I don't know, but it was in the middle of the woods, so like I don't know what it was supposed to be reflecting. And like there was, so it was really murky water, obviously, because it was in the middle of the woods and it was full of leaves and dirt and just
that creeped me out so much, because I'm like, there are totally at least one dead body in this thing.
Yeah, it was super creepy, because it's like, why would someone put this here? Like, clearly, if someone weren't tending to it frequently, it was only going to end up full of crap because it's in the middle of the woods.
Well, and like, it had that little altar thing at the, at the head of it.
It was like sort of a peak, like made out of stone. What?
Yeah, it was like made out of stone. It was like, like a peak, like it got smaller. It had like a little bit, but it wasn't very big. I mean, no, it would probably hold like this stone, maybe. But
yeah, it was like, it almost looked like a tiny chimney or something, but it was so skinny and like it tapered out. It was so weird. And like, and then there was like a bench or like an altar or something that was sort of carved out of the hill and then lined with stone. And then it had like a cement or like a big stone slab on top. And then there was the pool. And like, I remember that day when we found the pool, we looked for sticks because we wanted to know how deep it was. And so we each like found sticks in the woods that were like kind of straight and, you know, didn't have any twigs coming off. And we like started poking around in the pool, and you could feel steps like from one side of it. And it's like, why the hell is there like this like literal pool with stairs into it in the middle of the woods by a cemetery? Like, and when I say by a cemetery, it was close enough to be weird, but it was far away enough that it wasn't like who had died. Like, it wasn't inside the gates, obviously, because we were like just in the woods. And it was probably like, I don't know, I want to say like 30 to 50 yards away from the actual cemetery. So like it was just weird. It was so strange. I have no idea what that was. And like we would go there, like we would anytime we would go back to Harmonia, because we would go there all the time, we would end up like going back to the pool. Like we were always like drawn to that area. And I mean, of course we would be. It's just so bizarre.
Yeah. But it was also across the, like, it was kind of like across the way, like a few steps away from like leftovers of a house. Like there were like steps, and there was like part of like a washer or dryer. Remember that?
Yeah.
And the theater. The theater was another part that freaked me out.
That was weird. Like, and again, I actually won like a local art competition thing with a picture I had taken in that theater. It was like, so it, okay. Near the cemetery and.
Are you there?
Uh-oh. You there?
I'm here. Are you there?
I always feel the need to like move my hands around. Like, yeah. I'm like, am I on? I don't know. Harmonia, like the cemetery and the pool and stuff were obviously up that gated path, like to the woods. But the theater, and we call it that because we just don't know what else to call it, was like down, like, and when I say a main road, it wasn't a main road. It was like a private drive that was owned by like a factory or like an industrial complex near this wooded area. And so like down that road, like if you would head, I want to say west, not that it matters. There was like another little path that led to like this building that was like, I always got the impression that it was part of like the old military complex, because to me it looked like it could have been old military barracks, because it was like two kind of identical house-like things that were connected. They were like together, kind of like a duplex would be, but one side was completely burned down, and like it was just like rubble, and there was like cinder, and just it was clearly burned down. And then the other side was just, there was a door and it was intact, which is so weird that like one side would burn down and another wouldn't. Like you would go inside, there was a door and there were windows, and it was just a single room, like a single large room that were filled. It was filled with rows and rows of like auditorium chairs. Like, not that they were in use or anything. They were just there. They were empty. They were just full of chairs. And yeah, it was so freaky. And I think Senna's internet cut out because she's been gone for a while now. I think I'm live because I have a little icon thingy. Hold on. Let's text her, imaginary friends. Did your internet die? I suppose I can keep talking. So anyway, it was this theater thing, and it was so weird. And so I think part of the intrigue of Harmonia, or part of what made it so scary and confusing, is that there were so many strange things happening in such a small area, like a small geographical area. There was like the weird theater that was probably like a quarter of a mile away. There was the actual cemetery on top of